Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
Delhi Capitals are left seeking a miracle after their heavy loss to RCB on Sunday. They welcome Lucknow Super Giants to the Firozshah Kotla. LSG, who themselves have seen their playoff bid dented by heavy defeats in their last two outings. We build up to match number 64 on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPNcricinfo Timeout, powered by JBL, with Mitch McClenaghan and Wasim Jaffer to help set that game up for us. Realistic question, do we see any of these two sides actually making the top four? Mitch?
I think Lucknow's probably got the best chance, but no, I don't think we do. I think it's it's going to be a shootout between RCB and Chennai Super Kings for that last slot.
Wasim?
Well, Lucknow, like Mitch said, Lucknow has got the best chance because they can get to 16, and if anybody topples at the top who's above them, then they can get away to that playoffs, but they've got to get a lot of things right.
Yeah, the concern for Lucknow is their own net run rate, which took a massive beating with heavy defeats to KKR and then Sunrisers Hyderabad. And then that last defeat was also followed by visuals on the field after the game, which is never really a good look for any side.
Yeah, not great to see. Not great to see that out in public, and it's also something that that kind of confrontation should be done in a reasonable manner behind closed doors, regardless. So poor on two fronts. I don't think it's what you need in a team environment. I think it only creates disharmony, and I feel for KL being put in that position. They didn't go out there to lose like that. You know, they went out to play the best cricket that they could, and they just ran into an absolute juggernaut, the juggernaut that is SRH at the moment, and the way they go about their batting. So, it was disappointing to see. I would hope that the team, as players and as management, have banded together after that. I think something like that can often galvanise an organisation, particularly from a team front. And what I did like at the end, there was some other footage of JL coming over and trying to diffuse the situation and support his captain. And I really like seeing that from a leader. I like seeing that from Justin Langer. I like seeing that he was there to have KL's back in what was a disgruntling situation.
Yeah, assistant coach Lance Klusner has come out and said to the press that we don't see it as a big deal. It's a storm in a teacup.
Well, he has to defend it, without a doubt. But it did look like what happened there. It's anybody's guess. But it should be the other way around, to be honest. When teams going through that phase, if the owners come round and put a pat on the back, it actually make the players want to play for them. So it should be the other way around, I feel, and not what we have seen, which was very, very disappointing.
The troubles on the field for Lucknow Super Giants are well reflected when you look at their scores in the last few games, and that has a big bearing on that net run rate of theirs, which is well in the negatives. In a season which has been as high scoring as this, they've only topped 200 once, and that was also down to an all-timer of a knock from Marcus Stoinis. Do you feel their batting template has been found out as a little outdated?
Yeah, but you've got to have the resources, right? So all these teams that are going at these mammoth strike rates and getting these big scores, they've got some genuine power players, and I think that's probably the front that Lucknow are lacking on. They don't have as many power players as some of the other sides. So maybe to combat that, you have to look at, while he's such an asset down the bottom of the order and he finishes games, maybe you have to start looking at Nicholas Pooran coming up the order, batting at 3. Stoinis opening the innings with, if you want Stoinis to keep on batting at the top, maybe he opens the innings with KL, or you maybe even look at going all out with your overseas at the top and moving KL to number 4. You've got to look at these kind of combinations. How can you get your side out of the blocks as quickly as possible? Because that puts pressure on the bowling and fielding side, and I think you've got to start looking at getting on the front foot as opposed to trying the same method again and again.
And that intent and approach is going to be tested to the limit here, because in Delhi, you have a venue which is the highest scoring among the regular venues. The lowest first innings total here is 221.
Yeah, they need to come out firing on all cylinders, because they've got to look at that net run rate as well, because they have to win, and they have to win big. So yeah, I mean, the part of the problem is obviously KL hasn't got that kind of runs which we have, seen him do that every season, where he get 500, 600 runs every season consistently. Quinton de Kock's own form also hasn't been great. Stoinis has done well at number 3, but Pooran for last few games hasn't had the same kind of form which he had at the start of the season. So these guys need to do bulk of the scoring, and that hasn't happened. So yeah, they need to come out there. But the positive thing is in Delhi, it's going to be a good wicket with a small boundary. So they've got all the positive things going for them.
Let's focus on Delhi. They clearly missed Rishabh Pant in their last game against RCB. If he is back, revert to the same batting lineup that had been working in the games before that?
Yeah, I'd imagine that they're just going to swap Rishabh for Kushagra. I think that'll probably be the only change that they make. I think Akshar Patel's form with the bat is probably makes that a little bit easier rather than bringing in another batter. And I think at Delhi you probably don't need to have to stack the batting as much because their batters have been so good on that ground in particular. So probably just the one switch.
Where do you see David Warner fit best in terms of batting position in what could possibly be the last game of what has been a long association with Delhi?
Well, you could open with him or you Fraser McGurk or David Warner, and then Abhishek Porel could be that floater, which he's done before. But the one thing they need to not do is get Akshar down batting at number 7 or 6 because he's in a good form. They should use his form well. So even if 2 left-handers are playing, it doesn't matter in my opinion because there's no quality off spinner in the opposition team. So they need to make sure that they use Akshar Patel's form and bat him at number 3 and 4 where he's got runs. Other than that, I mean, David Warner batting at number 3 is also not a problem because he's a seasoned campaigner. He hasn't got the runs that Delhi had wished even for himself, but he could turn it on that day and win them the game.
Quick predictions, who are you backing?
I'm going to back Delhi. I think Delhi will bounce back.
Yeah, I'm going to back Delhi as well.
Okay, 2 votes in favour of Delhi then. If that happens, that will really dent Lucknow's bid for finishing in the top 4. Be sure to join the build-up to the game right around toss time on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPNcricinfo Timeout, powered by JBL.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.